direct action, you will be shaping New York State politics for the next 20 years. And so basically, the people that are protesting capitalism are being paid to protest capitalism. Now, I'm thinking about suing, what is this group? Working Families Party. I'm thinking about suing them for discrimination, because I went to the first Tea Party meeting in St. Louis, and they never paid me a dime. They never gave me 1 red cent to go to the Tea Party meeting, and I think it's discrimination, and I'm thinking about filing a lawsuit against the Working Families Party for discrimination, for white, Caucasian, fundamentalist Christian. They discriminated against me because I'm married, because I'm a fundamentalist Christian. I think they discriminated against me. Here is something, and I'm still reading off the web, and I see people writing in some remarks, and I really appreciate that, and I will get to those here in a second. Let me check here. Checking on the status here of the broadcast. Okay, that was okay. Freezing up. That's just what. Okay, okay. We're going to keep our eye on the broadcast just to make sure that our bandwidth is covering everything. Here is, and I don't know if you've heard the news, and I've been spending this last week trying to catch up on everything that's going on. And again, I don't want to miss the opportunity to thank everybody for their prayers and their comments, their cards, and everything else in my absence. It definitely went noticed. In fact, that's pretty much all I paid attention to during that time was people commenting and writing to me saying, you know, hey, we were sorry for what happened to your dad. So I really appreciate that. But during that time, during my absence, apparently the United States of America took 2 American citizens without the benefit of a trial and killed them. Anwar al-Awlaki and Samir Khan. They were, and I'm going to read to you the comments from Ron Paul, 14th District of Texas. This is his website from Ron Paul. He says, last week's assassination of 2 American citizens, Anwar al-Awlaki and Samir Khan, is an outrage and a criminal act carried out by the President and his administration. This is a quote from Ron Paul. If the law protecting us against government-sanctioned assassination can be voided when there is a really bad American, is there any meaning left to the rule of law in the United States? I agree with that. If, as we learned last week, a secret government committee not subject to congressional oversight or judicial review can now target certain Americans for assassination, under what moral authority do we presume to lecture the rest of the world about protecting human rights? I've been protesting too much. Protecting human rights. Didn't we just bomb Libya into oblivion under the auspices of protecting the civilians from being targeted by their government? Timothy McVeigh was certainly a threat, as were Nidal Hassan and Jared Lee Loughner. They killed people in front of many witnesses. They took up arms against their government in a literal way, yet were still afforded trials. These constitutional protections are in place because our founders realized it is a very serious matter to deprive any individual of life or liberty. Our outrage against even the obviously guilty is not worth the sacrifice of the rule of law. Al-Awlaki has been outspoken against the United States, and we are told he encouraged violence against Americans. We do not know that he actually committed any acts of violence. Ironically, he was once invited to the Pentagon as part of an outreach to moderate Muslims after 9/11. As the U.S. attacks against Muslims in the Middle East and Central Asia expand, it is said that he became more fervent and radical in his opposition to U.S. foreign policy. And I'm not going to continue to read his comments, but so far, I agree with it. I'm an American, And there are opinions and ideas and philosophies and thoughts that I have that may not be government sanctioned, government approved. They may not even be church approved by most churches. They may not be that way. But does that give the government, the United States of America, the right to assassinate me, you, or anybody else without the rule of law, without written standards, without protections being in place? And I agree with him. The principles of the founding of our country, the Constitution itself, was the idea that if the government is represented by the federal government, the state government, and when you go into a courtroom, and if you are being charged with a crime or you're being sued by somebody, it's this versus that. And if you are being charged with a crime, it is the state versus Mike Hoggard, or the state of Missouri versus the people of the state of Missouri. If the government is going to say, we think you did this, I have rights according, and even these Muslims, I don't like them, okay? If they're terrorists, I don't like that. But they have rights. And when you start picking who gets the rights and who doesn't, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I have automatic rights guaranteed me because I was born in this country. I'm a citizen of the United States of America, which means I have rights. You read me my rights. I have a right to remain silent. I may not have the ability to remain silent, but I have the right to remain silent. And so anyway, I've got pieces of paper here. I have a King James Bible here, and I want to start out today. In fact, you know what? I've already started out. I want to take my Bible, my King James Authorized 1611 Bible, and I'm going to go to the book of Daniel. And if you have a Bible in front of you, that's what I want you to do. So get your Bible out. It looks like this, okay? It's got these and thous in it. If it doesn't, get rid of it. Get one that does have these and thous in it. The book of Daniel, chapter, where are we going here? Chapter 9, okay? How do I do it? Let me read the question here. This was left at the Pastor Mike Online email address. It was left today. It's a recent question, and it is a fellow by the name of Neil. I believe he is from the Netherlands, and he writes. He says, "Sir." Now, if you want to call somebody, I'm not a sir. You could call me Mike, brother, hey friend, hey buddy, old pal. You can call me all kinds of things. But he says, I have a question concerning Daniel's prophecy on the 70 weeks. Turn your Bible, Daniel chapter 9, okay? And I'm going to ask you a question now, okay? You believe the Bible or not? And I've brought this up before. I think it's been about a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. And it's in my mind, it's in the category of